What is going on, everybody? In this video, I'm going to be going through my way too early top 25 rankings for 2026. And these rankings are a mix of how they did last season and how I think they will do next season. A lot of the teams that end the season good, usually you cannot drop them too far. But there's going to be some new teams in my top 25, some teams that could definitely jump next season and surprise the college football world. So let's get into talking about my top 25 rankings before spring. All the way down at number 25, I do have Missouri. I really think 25 was open for anybody. And from 24 up, I love all 24 teams. I would not leave them out of my top 25. But I ended up just going with a top SEC team in Missouri, or at least they will be in the middle of the pack in the SEC, I believe. They do return Ahmad Hardy, and I do think they're going to have a very strong Russian attack again. They also got a 1,000-yard back from the FCS who scored 12 touchdowns last season. They have an experienced offensive line, and they bring over a very good quarterback receiver duo, and that is Austin Simmons and Caden Lee, two of the top playmakers for Ole Miss last season. And I know Austin Simmons got beat out by Trinidad Chambliss, but Trinidad Chambliss ended up being a top 10, top 5 quarterback in the country. But Austin Simmons was balling before he got injured, and I do believe he is going to be an upgrade from Bo Perbula. And Missouri has some good offensive playmakers. They are losing some NFL talent on defense, though. Ultimately, they have been solid under head coach Eli Drinkwitz, and I am putting them at 25. At number 24, I have Louisville. They have good return in production, and head coach Jeff Brom has just kept this team super consistent in the transfer portal era. They have one of the best running backs, if not the best in the country, in Isaac Brown, and they have a good vet in Lincoln Keenos joining the team from Ohio State. I do think they could make a push in the ACC. I have them at number 24. At number 23, I have Iowa. The running back room is loaded, and that defense is absolutely loaded. They have been a super well-coached head team, and the way they played last season and reloaded makes me confident in how they can do this season. I do think they could be a sneaky team in the Big Ten. Their schedule is not super tough, and you got to give credit to the longtime vet head coach. And I do have Iowa at number 23. At number 22, I have Houston. This team has a lot of things going for them with head coach Willie Fritz. In just no time, he got the Houston Cougars to a 10-win season and a victory over LSU in the bowl game. They are returning Connor Wigman at quarterback. And Makai Hughes was a beast at running back at Tulane. He will be joining his former head coach and Willie Fritz. He ran for nearly 3,000 yards in 2 seasons at Tulane. Houston has one of the top transfer portal classes in the Big 12. They got some good talent, and I really think Willie Fritz is a good head coach. I do have this team at number 22. We'll see how they are at wide receiver. That is one of my question marks. At number 21, I have Tennessee. They have some good talent. The question is, will they get Joey Aguilar to come back? Tennessee will have a ton of new faces, but they have been one of the better recruiting teams in the SEC. And Josh Heupel has kept this team consistent. They have won 8 games just about every year under him. In fact, he's one of the most winningest head coaches in college football, period. That offense has a lot of explosiveness and talent. I think they will be fine. I have them at number 21. At number 20, I have Utah. And I know that they might have question marks without head coach Kyle Whittingham, a guy that is a program builder. But honestly, it might be the perfect time for him to go. And I really like the head coach they are bringing in, a guy that is very experienced on championship winning teams. They do return Devin Dampier, and I do think they will make it work. There's some good players on that team and return in production. I do have the Utah Utes at number 20. At number 19, I have Washington. Jamal Williams is back after a lot of drama, and that is a very good sign for Washington because he's a very good and underrated quarterback. They finished last season 5-2, and a lot of their losses were to very good Big Ten teams. Not a lot of bad losses other than the Wisconsin loss. Their defense has been super consistent, and they are near the top of the country in returning snaps. I really have great expectations for this team with Jedd Fisch. He's heading into year 3, and he did great things at Arizona in a couple of years. I think he could definitely get this team to take a step forward next season. I have Washington at 19. Number 18, this is a bit of a hot take, but I do have Florida. I think they got a home run hire. John Summerall is a winner and a great head coach, and I think he will fit perfectly at Florida. He's already putting in the work in the portal. They brought in excellent portal pieces, and I like the pickup of Aaron Philo at quarterback. I think he will contribute as a dual threat. They made some moves on the offensive line. There's some talent on offense, The defense was not that bad last year, and there is a lot back on defense. I really think just a couple of changes and this team could take a big step forward. Number 17, I have Alabama. If they really want to contend for a college football championship, changes need to be made. The offensive line has been an issue, the run game has been an issue, and Kalen DeBoer needs to adapt to this era. They didn't keep Hollywood Smothers, and they have concerns in the running back room. They lost a lot of key pieces to the portal, and losing Ty Simpson hurts. DeBoer is a winning coach, but I really just have not seen great things for him at Alabama, and I don't see Alabama taking a step forward next season. I have them at 17. At 16, I have BYU. Despite losing Parker Kingston, their top receiver, they are returning a lot of snaps and a lot of production from last season, and they got their quarterback in Bear Bachmeier coming back. Kalana Sataki has led this team to back-to-back double-digit win seasons. I don't think there's a lot of competition in the Big 12, so I am expecting BYU to do some good things. And they also return LJ Martin at running back, so a lot of the key players are back. I think they'll be fine. Number 15, I have USC. I have questions for that defense because they have been making progress, but losing their defensive coordinator certainly hurts. And they lost some good pieces, especially in the secondary on defense. And they lost a generational 1-2 at wide receiver in Jacoby Lane and Mekhi Lemon. These guys were insane and made incredible catches. Do I think they'll get something going on offense with Jada Mayava back? Absolutely. Lincoln Riley is a great head coach as well. I don't know if they're going to take that step forward to make the playoffs. That is why I only have them at 15. Although one great thing for this team is that they do have all 5 of their starting offensive linemen and top 2 running backs back. So we'll see if that offensive line makes a difference because trenches can win championships. Number 14, I have Penn State. I am really buying the hype with this team, and I know they have great expectations, but we should expect this team to bounce back even with a new head coach. Because Matt Campbell got the job done at Iowa State with less talent. He turned that program around. He led them to their first ever 11-win season. And look, he's bringing over a lot of his team, and they got their quarterback in Rocco Becht. They have one of the top portal classes in the Big Ten, and they have an easy schedule. I really think it's all going to work out for Penn State. I have them at 14. At 13, I have Michigan. I think they'll be one of the better teams in the Big Ten with Kyle Whittingham. Bryce Underwood is back as well. And the defense is strong. I think they're going to be very strong up front, especially adding the best edge from Utah and some key pieces. I think Michigan's going to get some of that physicality back, and they're going to be one of the better teams in the Big Ten. At number 12, I have Ole Miss. Believe it or not, I think that defense could improve. And with Trinidad Chambliss back at quarterback, anything is possible. We'll see how the head coaching is, but they made some great moves in the transfer portal defensively. They got some good pieces out of the portal at wide receiver again, and Trinidad Chambliss is a guy. He's super good. I think Pete Golden will build a defense there. They should be in the playoff conversation again next season. I have them at 12. At 11, I have Oklahoma. John Mateer is back, and he looked like a Heisman frontrunner from last season before his hand injury. They got some decent wide receivers in Parker Livingston and Trell Harris and Hayden Hansen. The offensive line returned some good pieces. My question is, will they be able to run the ball better in 2026? Because that really held them down. The defense has been really good under Brent Venables, but they do lose their defensive coordinator and some key NFL pieces. Although they are a dark horse team in the SEC, I think they could definitely make some noise. I have them at 11. Number 10, I have Texas A&M. Marcel Reed is back for next season. Mike Elko continues to keep this team trending in the right direction. They started 11-0 last season. The lack of schedule caught up to them as they lost to Texas and lost to Miami. They got some key pieces back like Mario Cravier and Le'Veon Moss. They also get a very good pickup to replace KC Concepcion with Isaiah Horton coming in. 4 offensive line starting transfers with experience. Colin Klein leaving might hurt the offense. Marcel Reed needs to protect the ball better. But they got some big pieces to help with the run defense on the defensive line with guys like Antu Saka, Angelo McCollum, CJ Ems, and they got some key pieces in the secondary. A&M should not be that bad, and I have them at 10. Number 9, I have Texas Tech. They are returning a lot, and they got their quarterback, which will make the difference in Brendan Sorsby. They got some big pieces up front from the portal again. I don't think they're going to have a generational front seven like they did last season, but they're going to be more balanced, and they're easily going to be the best team in the Big 12. I think the offense is going to take a big leap, and I just think they have the NIL talent to just reload even though they lost some very good pieces up front on defense, so I do have them in my top 10. At number 8, I have LSU. Lane Kiffin is super underrated, and I think he gets disrespected too much. The dude did great things at Ole Miss. They even made it to the semifinals last season. He led them to an 11-win season. Their only loss was to Georgia. And he's got the number one portal class in America at LSU. This is the second season in a row where the pieces are there, and I really think they're going to put it together this season. LSU could win the SEC. And I think Sam Levitt is that guy at quarterback. He might be the best playmaker at quarterback in the country. They got the number one offensive tackle, the number one edge, and Prince Yellen. They got a great wide receiver in Eugene Wilson. They got pieces at every level. They also return all SEC linebacker in Whit Weeks. They are stacked at every position group, and if you really evaluate this team with the head coach like Lane Kiffin, they should get the job done. At number 6, I have Texas. They got Arch Manning back, and he's taking strides. And they got their number one receiver in Cam Coleman. They are super talented, and I've won double-digit games the last 3 seasons with Steve Sarkisian. This year could be the year they finally get it done and make it further than the semifinals. I really like this team and their talent. And they add a good one, too, at running back in Hollywood Smothers and Raleek Brown. I expect that defense to be strong again as well. At number 5, I have Georgia. With Gunnar Stockton back and finally having good return in production, this could be the year that Kirby Smart gets this team back to playing elite level football. There's a lot of young talent returning. They are one of the more younger teams from last season, and really watch out for this team. Kirby Smart's an excellent head coach. People should not be down on this team. Number 4, I have Indiana. Why will they not reload? They did a good job in the portal. Curt Cignetti has proven that he can make more with less talent. And they got their quarterback in Josh Hoover. I think he's a great fit. They also got a little bit of pieces returning on defense at each level. And I know they were completely stacked on veterans last season. I do not think they're going to be as good as last year. That was a crazy scenario having all those 6-year players. But Curt Cignetti is that guy a head coach, and Indiana is not going anywhere. I do have them at number 4. I just don't think they'll go back to back. At number 3, I have Notre Dame. They are loaded with talent, picking up 5 stars at wide receiver from the portal. Also on the defensive line, they return a lot on defense. They return their top 2 best secondary players from last season. Notre Dame's defense might be the best in the country, and CJ Carr has a reliable group of receivers to throw to. We'll see how the run game is because that is their strength, but I still am not down in that offense. They have a really solid offensive coordinator, and they have made growth under Marcus Freeman, and I think it will continue. At number 2, I have the Oregon Ducks. This team is the most talented team in the country heading into next season, and they retain a lot of production. There's no reason they should not be better. They are loaded on the defensive line, bringing back all of their starters on the defensive line. They bring back one of the best cornerbacks in the nation in Brandon Finney. They have a very young defense with a lot of 5 stars coming up, and they got their guys on offense and a 5-star quarterback in Dante Moore returning. The only question mark is their offensive and defensive coordinator, but Dan Lanning is the guy a head coach. They have been closer and closer to making that national title game despite the blowouts. This team is closer than people think. I have them at 2. And at number 1, I have Ohio State. I think Ryan Day's a great head coach. Their 2 losses were unfortunate, but I do think they made some good moves in the portal and they upgraded their offense. And with Julian Sain and Jeremiah Smith back, I look for that offense to be good, and that defense will be very strong again. All around, I think Ohio State's a great team, and they have a very good staff, so I have them at number 1. But anyways, that will do it for my way too early top 25 for 2026. You guys let me know what you think about my top 25 down in the comments below. Now let me remind you guys to like the video and also subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you never miss an upload. And if you guys love college football, then you'll love this channel because we upload a ton of college football content and we basically cover everything on this channel. So definitely consider subscribing and also consider checking out my socials down in the description below, where you can find my memberships for $5 a month. That will include talking college football with me on Saturday mornings before the games start during the season, and also other exclusive perks, so feel free to check that out. But that will do it, guys, and peace out.